Boys, playoffs are among us. It is time to listen to your favorite fantasy football podcast. I'm Dex. That's Parker. We know more than you think and less than you expect. How are we doing, buddy?
I keep thinking you're gonna say we know more than you think and less than you know.
That's also right. You're not wrong. He's not
Which
wrong.
one's funnier? We need a league poll on which one of those is a better tagline.
So,
Does that come from something?
I don't know. We know more than you think and less than you know. So we know
You could say that because it's the second one is a duality. It's we know more than you know that we know, and we know more than you know.
No, you said we know less than you know. So
Yeah, that one.
So that then you're saying we
Does that
know
make
more than
sense?
you think we do, but we also know less than you guys, which I also like. All right, so we know that we need to decide on that topic. But before I forget, for our audience, I listen to podcasts. I work a lot sitting at computers and driving. So I try to listen to 2 to 3 a week. One of them is KFC Radio, and they had this hypothetical, and I brought it to our group. You either, every time you sneeze, you change sexes. So if I sneeze, I'm now a girl Dex. I sneeze back, boy Dex. Or you can't tell the difference between babies and apples. Mind you, I thought this was a clear cut, pretty easy, but our discussion on babies and apples was mind blowing today, Parker.
It got detailed.
Oh, so detailed. What I want to step on, or poor word phrase, was the idea of Paul had this thing that, like, if he went to this grocery store and he saw the apples in their little pile, they'd all just be dead babies. Like, that didn't even, like, and then he said we're fucking crazy or demented because we would be fine with that. First off, I never assumed they're dead. I just assumed they were babies. Like, I guess like apples eventually go bad, but usually they take those out. So like
they could be totally stoked babies
Yeah.
or just like not even animate. They could just be not moving.
Yeah,
in theory.
I didn't assume they're like aborted ass babies in the apple pile, and so they took it pretty far. And
Did the podcast you got this from like go on similarly weird tangents? Was there anything they touched on that we should have?
They essentially were on the board for the sex change that you and I both jumped on right away.
It's more of a superpower than anything, right?
And the one guy, Feidelberg, was like, yeah, I was like, his thing that got me hooked was like, you're at a concert or a football game, you see the line for the guys' bathrooms long as hell, fucking sneeze, boom, girl, let's walk into the girls' bathroom. And I was like, that's my life, because as most of you know, I piss so fucking much. When, like, I'm always waiting in line for a guy's bathroom at a bar or at a fucking football game or something. So that would save my life if I could just go piss with the ladies.
Yeah, that'd be pretty useful. Someone had the idea of if you sneeze during sex and like you had a dick in you, their dick would, I don't know, it'd be bad.
Would you only do anal then?
No. Have you ever sneezed during sex?
No.
Has anybody? I want to know if that's a legitimate thing that happens to people.
It's like one of those times where you're like, you can't, like when you're getting a haircut and you're like, I can't scratch my nose, but my nose itches now. That's like, all right, I can't sneeze during sex while this like 8-inch dick is inside of me. Well, fuck me, I gotta sneeze really bad.
That'd be pretty funny if you were like a chick of like, obviously like you. I like my theory of you turn into a chick of like equal attractiveness level, or you, instead of just being your same fucking person. But can you imagine like getting a full blowout at the salon, like dropping $200 and they're like doing your hair and you've been sitting there for 4 hours getting highlights and you got a sneeze coming on and you're like, fuck, I don't want to waste this money.
My idea would be like, so Brad wouldn't know that I could change. I'd switch into a girl at like 1:30 in the morning at the bars, get him to take me back to his place, get butt naked, turn the lights off, and then hold on, can you turn the lights back on? Sneeze as he's walking and turn lights on, and just have my dick laying out there. And the like pure confusion of like, what's the fuck's going on?
You know that picture of like the really big black dude with the giant hog,
I do
like
know
sitting
that
on
picture.
the bed? You'd be like that probably.
Except not the same size penis, unfortunately. Or actually, I don't know if I'd want that. That'd be scary. Like that's like a weapon at that point.
Yeah. So, were there any more good hot takes about that?
Well, I have a question for you. Are you so now you're a female, you have a vagina. Are you gonna dangle in and having sex with a man? Or are you gonna go on that lesbian kick right away?
I'd probably fuck dudes.
Yeah, I'd have to.
I'd have to.
It's not like that. That's what you're.
It's literally not gay.
I didn't want to say that. I was like, I don't know how to properly. 2018. Fuck, we got to be careful.
You're clearly very defensive about it, but it's a woman having sex with a man. That's straight as hell.
Yeah, and so,
you'd just be like, you'd be a total anomaly as far as your mind state goes. They'd have to add an acronym, a letter to the end of LGBTQ plus. It'd be LGBTQ Dex.
Well, the cool thing too is like just the being able to get in the mindset of a girl and understand sex on that next level. It's like what women want with Mel Gibson when he can hear the women talking or their thoughts. And then his just like sex game was so much better because he knew exactly what she wanted and like during sex because he could hear what she was thinking. So it'd be like,
I think it'd be different because you'd only know yourself, Dex. Not all women are the same.
Every woman's a puzzle. I thought every vagina was the same. You just hump real quick till you come and you're both done.
Yeah, that's exactly how sex works every single time.
Well, then.
It's how dogs do it. It's how we got to do it too, right?
Like, that's the animal kingdom. There you go. If you learn one thing from this podcast, know that sex is really easy. All you got to do is hump until you come.
Yep.
Well, that was fun.
That's great. Speaking about humping until you come, this is Parker Johnson's fun fact time, hashtag next gen stats, but we got a special edition. It's Parker Johnson's Golden Tate fact time, hashtag Golden Tate stats. Do you like how I very loosely tied in humping till you come with Golden Tate? Thank you for noticing.
I did.
That.
Also,
you laughed ahead of
time. Well, to be fair, I knew where this was going because I can see the doc, but I did appreciate how clever you were. Real quick, my first stat about Golden Tate. Do you know what team he's on?
He's on the Eagles.
Yeah, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, it does. This is kind of like, I'm noticing this is a little shit. Let me see if there's a little bit more elaboration. All right, so since Golden Tate debuted on the Eagles, what percentage of their target share do you think he has?
34%.
Close, 32.3%.
I figured it'd be higher than you'd think because he has had one good game.
It was literally higher than you'd think and less than you knew.
Fuck! I think we got it, boys. Chalk that one up for a win for Parker.
He's been targeted 20 times on 62 routes. 20 times that seems pretty reasonable.
That's like 32%.
No wide receiver has been targeted more often per route this season than Golden Tate among wide receivers to run 50 routes. That's the entirety of my next gen stat section today. I hope you all enjoyed this.
It was to say the least, a very average week of football.
Except for Derrick Henry. Every stat on him was literally shoved in your face throughout the week.
At Thursday. We get it.
Yeah.
And then it's like the amount of people who actually started him in the playoffs would, if someone did, like fucking lucky. But all I saw were
like a sub 20% start rate.
How much?
Like a sub 20%. Yeah, maybe like around 20.
I feel like it had to be lower, but yeah, most likely because shit all year. And if that's the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
How shitty would that be? Is like you lose to like a shitty team because you had Derrick Henry go off and get 45.
Do you think Dustin's starting him next week?
Dustin's dumb enough to start him.
I'd start him, honestly. Like, if he's going to go that hot, why the fuck
are you really? Like, I fucking wish you had him because that's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
Why?
Because you bait off of one game. I'm looking at Dustin's team right now.
Did you hear the fans? They were chanting his name.
He went to Alabama. You don't think he's had his name chanted forever? He was the Heisman Trophy winner. He had one fucking game. And now we're going to jump on his fucking back?
I've never heard someone's name be chanted in an NFL game at all, let alone when he's not even like in the play.
Hold on. Un momento, por favor. Let's go. We're going to do some Dex next gen stats. Next gen stats. Here's Derrick Henry. Week 1, 3.6. Week 2, 5.9, 5.7, 4.1, 5.6. I regress. So
I guess with Dustin's team falling apart the way it is, he probably has. He started him last week, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was on a bye.
I assume that means that he has to. Like, is his team that shit right now?
Yeah, with Kareem Hunt being done and Royce Freeman as his only other running back. I guess Jalen Richards, he has as a flex. So if he wanted to flex John Brown,
it's Richard. We covered this.
I don't give a fuck, Parker. I don't even say my own name right. Like, let's jump off that bandwagon. So there we go. I don't remember what we were talking. Oh yeah, that. All right, Parker. I want you to go into this next part.
Look at the thing.
We were supposed to have guests this week.
Oh yeah, we were gonna have guests this week. We had a lot of guests last week. We did 2 hours of podcasting, which is total insanity. This week we were supposed to have the losers bracket on, but they weren't dedicated enough to make it on, all of them. So is it really a big surprise that they're in the losers bracket with this level of other commitments?
Yeah, one of them had a really fucking work, and the other one is going on a date.
Imagine having work. Imagine women during the fantasy season.
Yeah, imagine women. That's why I don't do that during fantasy. That is why.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I'm about to have a Bumble match expire that I just remembered, and I have to message her.
Yeah, we were just shitting on people for prioritizing women.
I'm not in the fucking playoffs. Here, Parker. Tell me what to say to her. She
nice.
said, "Hey, you."
Just say nice.
We've matched like 3 times, and like we never talk, and then
you'll match again. Do the podcast now. Match again.
That's what I like to hear. So Dex not talking to women because of fantasy, like a true 10 guys 1 cup member.
True hero.
So dude,
you don't have my favorite segment on here today.
Yes, waiver wires on there.
No, power rankings, bro.
Fuck me. Well, hey, that is on there. You just didn't see it. Right now, we're going into waiver wire.
This is our lowest contribution of power rankings I've ever seen. We have 5 people submitting rankings right now. 3 of which are in the taco.
We're doing waiver wire right now.
Okay. I can't tell because the doc is
so
shit.
Brad picked up 3 people. Brad's nervous, as you can tell. Like, Brad picked up 3 people. Paul picked up 1. Charlie picked up 1.
So,
1 person.
Charlie's the only person to spend money on Dante Pettis.
Yeah.
Like, way to go, by the way, picking him up. I didn't realize that he was, like, existing. But I saw you pick him up, and I went and picked him up in my money league. I'm probably going to start him this week. Who knows?
Charlie picked up a quarterback as well. I'll drop Kirk Cousins, I guess, like just in case.
Yeah, Jameis Winston. Let's see. Nothing. Brad's picked up Falcons D, Nyheim Hines, and a kicker. Like, waiver wires shit right now. Totally. I think more might have happened afterwards. There was. No, never mind. It was just
no
just
one
Paul.
Cares. All right, so our waiver wire segment was great. Now our actual
way to give us great content, guys.
Yeah, fuck them. So yes, our power rankings. Who you're right, 5 people did it. Who did not? Paul, Dustin, Miller, Gabe, Brad.
I'm gonna say in the chat right now. Do power rankings.
Meow. Put me.
We need podcast content.
Oh my God, Parker.
All right.
You're tied with Mike. And I'm tied with Gabe.
For 9th.
Look, you're
Yeah, my thing glitched out. I actually wrote a special piece of code that will not rank me if I'm lower than 8. So no, not really. It's just a glitch.
So funny thing is, if I didn't rank myself so low, I would have been decently high. I don't understand your guys' how you guys come up with these rankings, to be honest. Like, it's not consistency because this is the highest the collective group has had me ranked, and it was my worst week of the year. So, you know what? Let's just keep doing what we're doing, I guess.
Let's see. You're no, you were ranked 6th last week. You dropped.
Yeah, but I had myself at number 2 last week. So I'm looking more at the group. I'm excluding my pick. But I feel
from week 11, you went 9, then 8, then 7, then 6, and now you're back down at 7.
I have myself at 9. So if I would have put myself at 7, I'd still be at 7, I guess. But that is our power rankings. Nothing crazy.
Wait, no, Charlie's I know. Top, Mike's the bottom.
Nothing out of the one. Brad number 2, Paul number 3, Dustin 4. So the 4 guys in the playoffs right now are the top 4. I think we can all agree Charlie and Brad are the scariest teams for consistency. Paul has the most. Let's save a little bit of that for later. Gabe, you and Gabe super low. How do you feel? How do you feel at being ranked 9, tied with Mike for dead last, as someone who just lost in the first round of the playoffs, but you were in the playoffs?
You know, I obviously have been defending myself quite a bit in my low power rankings. The past few episodes of this podcast, I'm done with it. I haven't eclipsed.
I was gonna say, to be fair, you finally broke 90 in like 2 weeks, so like you're moving on up.
I beat 90 twice in the last like 4 weeks. I think
it's 5 now, because I went 4 weeks in a row at 140 plus, and those were the 4 weeks you were below, and that's how I caught you, missed you by 5 points. Honestly, it was nice. Like, it'd be nice not to be in the losers bracket, but fuck, would I have been screwed last week? One player with a touchdown last week. I guess since we're there, we're going to results. Might as well jump in that area. Are you done with the power rankings for now, since no one fucking submitted?
Sure am.
So we already talked about it. Dex 63, Daniel 128. I don't know. I talked to Daniel this week. Hey Dex, did you know if I would have played in the playoffs, I would beat everyone but Charlie? Did you know that? Well, Daniel, you didn't make the fucking playoffs. Did you know if I would jerk off so much, my dick would be bigger? I don't fucking care, Daniel. This is how it works. Like, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. To be fair, if I would have scored more points than everyone, I would have been that guy.
Yeah. You should have just tried harder in the regular season, Daniel.
I thought you were going to say try harder jerking off, but...
Try harder jerking off.
Daniel started 5-2. Ended 6-7.
Yeah, and he kept like all 50 fab till the last week of regular season.
And then spent what, 45 on 3 players that he didn't start?
Yeah, I don't feel bad for you, Daniel. Not even a little
Daniel,
bit.
We're gonna give you a little bit of advice for next year. We get that your starters were balling hard, but in football, you've got a really muscular, strong, fast man running at another really strong, muscular, fast man. And sometimes when they hit each other enough, one of them breaks. Now, when that happens, it's good to have a backup. But as you, who didn't pick up anybody because your team was doing well, had 2 injuries, Cooper Kupp literally ended your season. You like to blame it on me, but blame Cooper Kupp. And actually, he got hurt real bad against the Broncos. So blame Chris Harris Jr. And that's when your team really fucking fell apart. Because that 20 plus a week from that fucking monster was keeping you up there.
Does Daniel at 128 and you at 63 make you nervous for a potential Taco Bowl between you two?
No. What makes me nervous is how much Miller's projected and that I'm playing him to go to the Taco Bowl. We'll save this. We have this in here. I'm going to discuss the potential taco matchups in a couple segments from now.
Okay.
So there was that.
Next is Mike and Miller.
The 2 highest scorers in the league or of the week. I'm excluding the guys who had buys. No one cares. You didn't play anyone. You had a bye. Good job for being better than the rest of us. Yeah, who would have thought Mike would have went from scoring 58 last week to 146 this week?
Mike didn't assign an ice. Oh, no, it's Dustin.
Are we giving ices in the playoffs?
I thought so.
Might
it's every
as well.
Week, right?
Here, I'll tell you who's supposed to assign an ice. Right, meow.
It's Charlie.
Charlie.
All right. I'm chatting in the chat right now. It's Charlie. Okay. So Charlie needs to assign a nice. I thought Mike had the highest score because we don't have like the other rankings on here because nothing fucking matters
at all. Also, okay. Oh yeah, Miller, Mike, boring. And then the first actual game that mattered, Paul versus Gabe. And Parker, you do the honors since you're the one who had this, man.
Gabe started Devin Funchess, who scored him 0 points. I told him last week, Funchess is shit. Yeah, he scored a lot of points last week, but don't
didn't score a lot of points. I think he scored a touchdown on the last play of the game. Like it was
last week?
Yeah. Or the week before, not this last one. Week 13. I'm pretty sure.
Week 13, I think. I'm going to take a look real quick. What? Gabe didn't start him. 7 point. Never mind. 7.5. I thought he had a way better.
No, he had like one touchdown for one catch.
Yeah, you're right. He did totally dick. For some reason, I thought he popped off for 20, but that was Golden Tate.
That was Golden Tate. So,
that was just my like huge depression over having dropped him, and him would have outscored like AJ Green that week for me.
So Gabe, yeah. And you had two other players on your bench who would have actually had you beat Paul. And Paul moves on.
Gabe's like, oh, this 7.5 points. I gotta chase this.
Yeah. To be fair, so let's go this route. I'm gonna defend Gabe a little bit. Gabe,
someone needs to.
No one thought you were gonna win. Very much me. But no one thought, and like I'll give you the Hail Mary, like maybe Devin Funchess will do it for fuck it. You could have put in all kickers and you would have had a better chance. Honestly, I can't even defend you. Just be better, Gabe.
Yeah, he's Devin Funchess is nothing more than a dart throw, touchdown, Hail Mary. Like you just hope he gets a touchdown. Total shit. I don't know what Gabe was thinking for that. Next matchup.
Parker versus Brad.
Paul scored 120.
Yeah, Paul did 120. Good job, Paul. Average, below average. I'll give it below average, but you did what you needed to do to go in the next round, which is very important. We'll get there. Other matchup: Parker versus Brad. Another 120 to Parker's 92. As we all talked about, Parker did what Parker does.
Make sure that I had a super average season and go out in the first round of playoffs.
Yeah. Hey.
I said it in the very first episode. It's what I do.
You're the definition of average when it comes to fantasy.
Like, you know, if my schedule was flipped and like my team was shit at the end of the year and I had like all the hard games at the end of the year and I would have like cleaned up the beginning, it wouldn't have been such like a heartbreak like trying to get into the playoffs.
You got in the playoffs though.
I did, but it was stressful.
I don't.
And I was prepared to talk about
like
that.
You're trying to defend yourself for having a shit. Yeah, okay. I was like, I don't know what you're saying. We both agree. Like, you made the playoffs. Good job. But your team sucked in the playoffs.
Can you tell I'm just permanently hurt no matter what?
You're like the Cincinnati Bengals. Like,
what the fuck does that mean?
They make the playoffs so often and lose in the first, and the Kansas City Chiefs, but I'm not going to give you that level. But like the Cincinnati Bengals are always in the playoffs, not always, but a good portion of the time, and they always lose. They never make it out of the first round of the playoffs.
I'm a Bengal. I get it.
Yeah, kitty cat. So Dustin and Charlie had a bye again. Good job, boys. You fucking did it. You fucking did it, boys. All right, Parker. Let's go into what's going to happen next week. Where do you want to start? You see the order I have them in now. Do you think we should stay in that order, or do you want to flip them?
No, this looks good.
Okay. So, in the loser bracket, to go to the Taco Bowl, to play for last place, you have Miller versus myself, Dextric, Michelle Beta, and Daniel versus Mike. First, let's pick them. I got Dex.
I think Miller wins this one.
I got Daniel.
And I think I think Mike's wins this one.
So I don't know how my powers work, but I picked Dex and I picked Daniel to win.
It has to be that way. A Miller versus Mike Taco Bowl would be the fucking worst.
Just so everyone knows, if it's Dex versus Daniel, whoever's in the championship, no one's gonna give a fuck. Like, no one will care if you're the champion or not. No, I get like it will be. I feel bad, honestly. If you four in the playoffs should be rooting for Daniel and myself to win, because the shadow that we will cast over this entire league, or you won't be able to get out from under it. Like it will be talked about at our fucking kids' fucking 8th birthday when we're all together. And remember in 2018 when Dex and Daniel were in the Taco Bowl and it was just a fucking barn burner and they were going back and forth. Like, that's what will be said.
We should have had I wish we could have done a question last week where we asked people, like, if you had to pick the taco or the champion, but not the other one, which one would you pick?
You already know what they're going to say. And I would be the taco probably 8 out of, might even be 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, we'd have to like put some parameters around it so you can't pick yourself, obviously, and people aren't biased about that.
So
but yeah,
clearly, all right, Parker, you get to choose the champ or the taco, especially in your position. You can't be either right now. What are you choosing?
Yeah, I'd rather choose the champ, I think.
All right, we can end that there. I know.
Because I know that you're going to be the taco anyways.
Oh, do you? Miller already put 2 ice bets on it. You want to make it a third?
An ice bet?
Yeah, I got 2 large ice bets. Miller said I'll be the taco. Parker, I want you to take that big curved dick, put it on the table right now, and be a man. You want to say it? Say it. Let's do it.
You know I don't want to hurt you like that.
Oh God, you know I love the pain. I have nothing else to live for. Nothing else.
I'm worrying about your health these days, man. You've done so many ices.
If I die young, it'll be too good. It won't happen. I'm not gonna die young.
I don't like the odds this week. Like a large ice on that.
No,
I'm probably gonna have
I'm
to
saying that
drink
I will be the taco.
Well,
so if I
yeah,
win,
that means
win,
that yeah, a few things would have to happen consecutively. It's unlikely that you're gonna be the taco, is what I'll say, because your team's not bad.
I got Melvin Gordon back, boys. Woo! Travis Kelce, Chargers, Thursday night. Yeah, it's a lot riding on tomorrow night for me.
You know, I saw a post today on Reddit that said if the Chiefs win this game, they can rest their starters next week.
Yes.
Are you afraid of that? Because Travis Kelce's been carrying your team pretty hard.
My second backup tight end is like the number 4 tight end in fantasy. And
that's not bad.
So like whatever. It's a Taco Bowl.
I am worried about that for Dustin's team though.
Well,
no, it's Charlie will get hurt more, huh?
Mahomes,
because Tyreek's already hurt.
Mahomes, quarterbacks are iffy. Yeah, this is fuck. Oh, all right.
Would they sit the quarterback?
Yes, 100%. But let's jump into the championships now that we're talking about it. We got Dustin versus Paul, Brad versus Charlie. Now I'm just gonna jump off of what Parker was saying. Dustin has Tyreek hurt, Kareem Hunt out. Paul's like looking good with that. Now, say Charlie beats Brad, Mahomes isn't in the championship or playing next week. Paul just got like the highest scoring team in the league. I don't know if it's actually them. It could be the Saints or the Rams. Who gives a fuck? But they're top 3. Like they could be out of the championship for fantasy, and Paul could literally walk away with that trophy.
Dude, side note, real quick about the Rams. Goff has been sucking some chodes the last 2 weeks. Have you seen his stat lines?
Yeah, who'd they play last week? I know they played the Bears, but who's the week before? Because that's what matters. Like, I always get scared to jump on too hard. Like if they're playing like hardcore good
Detroit.
Yeah, that's bad.
8.1 points against Detroit, and then Chicago -0.3.
He had -0.3. Chicago's D is just unreal. They're the one that's not fair. Detroit, yeah, that's laughable. I'm pretty sure the Jets put up like 30 plus on them. So the Jets beat them week 1. So
And they play Philly and then Arizona.
Well,
so I don't even know who
shit defenses. Holy shit. Philly, they're playing Philly then Arizona. Philly has no cornerbacks. I can't name their fucking safeties and cornerbacks right now because everyone's injured. I'm pretty sure they're starting all rookies who were drafted after the 5th round.
You know who's starting Jared Goff right now?
Brad? Dustin.
It's Dustin.
Damn it, Dustin. Who's his backup? Didn't he trade?
Aaron Rodgers playing Chicago. Dustin's in a bit of a bind this week.
Dustin, you won't hear this in time, most likely. Aaron Rodgers, start him. Start Aaron Rodgers.
That's a hot take. I heavily disagree.
Yeah, I'll put an ice on that he scores over 20 points.
That Aaron Rodgers scores over 20 points?
We'll do a small ice.
We'll do a little ice?
Since you don't like it.
Yeah, a little ice. Let's do it.
Because I feel like we don't understand. Like, NFC rivalry. This is the one thing where, like, when people say, like, is Aaron Rodgers the GOAT? And I give it up to them when their defense. In these big moments, these rivalry games, he's a fucking competitor to the max. He's up there with Tom Brady on, like, I'm going to fucking score 3 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes of the game because fuck the Bears. And I love that shit. Like, that's nothing better in sports than rivalries. And we're going to see a fucking monster of a game this weekend. Because Aaron Rodgers knows they're not making the playoffs. Like, he knows it. Like, with that fucking record, they'd have to win out and need, like, 3 other teams to lose out. That's not going to happen.
I don't know, man. You're both asserting that teams that aren't going to make the playoffs are going to do well and that division rivalry games are high scoring. And I think you're wrong on both of those accounts. I think there's no way you come out on top of this ice.
Well, lucky for us, we have this on a podcast that we can listen back to. And
it's recorded.
See, one day we need like a stat tracker on heyparkerj.com. It'll be like the percentage of how right I am and how right you are.
Yeah, dude. Charlie was tracking the stats for like how good our picks were throughout the season earlier.
Yes.
I was whooping you.
Nah, that's iffy. It was because there came the point where like I memed it. So I don't know how fair that is because things started to work in my favor in the opposite way they were supposed to.
I think it's fair. You got to put your best foot forward, or else your stat line is gonna suck ass. Just look at Daniel.
All right, let's do these pick'ems for the championship. Dustin versus Paul.
Oh, I got Paul.
So do I, because fuck Dustin. His team is falling apart. This one's going to be rough.
Yep.
Brad versus Charlie.
This one's so hard.
So hard. First off, before we say this, both of you guys, you have the 2 best teams. Records, whatever. The consistency, like... I honestly hate that you guys are on opposite sides of the bracket, but I'm going Charlie. Brad's wide receivers superior. Charlie's team though, fuck. He's got Mahomes this week.
We said we wouldn't do this as much, but I'm gonna take a look at their teams.
Well, we didn't. I don't think we actually said that. Brad's projecting more, but the Tevin Coleman as your RB1. All right, let's say we'd switch it. Tevin Coleman would be flex 2. Lamar Miller would be RB1 or 2. Philip Lindsay's great. Odell Beckham, good. Adam Thielen. George Kittle went off, but now he's playing Seattle.
This is Brad's team, by the way.
Sorry, I apologize. Brad had a very big decision. Big Ben against New England in Pittsburgh. Let it be known, in Pittsburgh. Or Cam Newton against New Orleans in Carolina. Monday night game.
Big Ben might not be playing.
He said he was playing this week. He's like, no, I'm playing this week. Again.
Okay.
Who would have you started? Because, all right, fun. I sent this to Parker, but Brad texted me this morning and he's like, here, I'm going to actually read you this text because.
Yeah. I would play Cam Newton, by the way, while you pull that up.
All right, I'll tell you, I would also. So this is what Brad tells me. He says, Dex, I want to ask you your advice for fantasy, but I don't want you to tell me your thoughts and then be dead ass wrong. My response, welcome to my life, Brad. How do you think it feels to be me? I was like, Dex, what should I do?
It's a chore to consult your own brain.
Yeah.
It's like a task in mind games.
It's like, all right, so if I think I should do this, I shouldn't. But did I know I was going to say that? And then I'm really confused, going back and forth. So there's that. But yeah, I also would start Cam Newton, New Orleans. For some reason, Brad thinks New Orleans is like the top tier pass stopping defense.
They have done good. They shut down Carson Wentz.
Okay, cool.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything, actually. He's been total shit for the second half of the year. But they were playing pretty well before, if I remember.
Well,
right.
let's look back. So they went against Tampa, 213 yards from Jameis Winston, 2 touchdowns. Dak Prescott, 249, 1 touchdown. Not great. Then you have what's his face for the Atlanta? He had Matt Ryan had 20.7. Then you go to Carson Wentz, garbage. So, but before that, Cincinnati, Andy Dalton, 18 points. Jared Goff, 29 points. Minnesota's piece of shit.
Dude, Matty Ice put up 40 points in week 3 against the Saints.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't have a lot of consistency either. I would trust Cam Newton.
Definitely start Cam Newton. Yeah, I would get it done with Cam for sure. And it's Monday night, dude. It's your Hail Mary.
Yeah, that's the best. That also, like, you want to talk about soap opera. That's nothing better because Cam Newton easily can rush for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, like if the game's on the line. So like you always have that in your back pocket. I'm like, all right, I'm down by 35.
Ooh, I think I know why Brad is doing this. Cam's coming off a 10-point game against Cleveland.
Yes, Cleveland's defense better than what people give them, though. Drives me fucking insane.
It's true. It's very true.
But all right.
Let's see Charlie's team.
Zeke and
Patrick Mahomes. Go ahead. No, you do the. You run it down.
So Zeke, Christian McCaffrey, right there, top tier. Where he is fucked. His wide receiver too, Curtis Samuel for Carolina. Like I that stuff. Like he's had 4 good weeks, but Carolina's always just that wild card.
Dude, this is why you start Cam Newton, motherfucker. Because Curtis Samuel is a Carolina wide receiver and Christian McCaffrey is a Carolina wide receiver. You fucking start their quarterback, dude. Like, you have to.
Fuck, though. That's an interesting one. So, Brad's play to do opposite of that is root against the Panthers. Because if Cam Newton throws to either of those guys, he's getting fucked.
Just, do you think the rest of your team is better? Like, Cam's not carrying, but Christian McCaffrey and Curtis Samuel are carrying for Charlie. So just play the quarterback. If Cam sucks, that means that those 2 players aren't carrying for Charlie, so it's a wash. And in theory, it's in your favor because Charlie's playing 2 players. You're just playing 1.
Honestly, Charlie's weak link is his tight end. Besides that, his like team is fucking looks nice.
I don't know why I dropped Vance McDonald. He's like, he has a hip misalignment. what the fuck ever?
You're
Who
sensitive
cares?
about hips, though. That's not fair.
I was sensitive. That definitely played into my evaluation.
All right, so I'm picking Charlie.
Yeah, I'm picking. Can I do a flex play here? If Blad plays Cam, I say Brad wins. If Brad plays Ben, Brad is gonna lose.
I like that. Hot take. Hot take.
And I'm not saying that if Brad plays Ben and Cam would have won him the game that I was wrong. I'm saying that what he does is going to influence the gods and it's going to affect this matchup. It's a raw assessment. I'm not saying Cam would have won it for him.
Brad, where are your gods now? Do you know what movie that's from? Because I don't.
Where are your gods?
I say it all the time. There's like a thing where are your gods now? Hey.
All right. Dex is leaving to get more alcohol, which is funny because that was the last segment that we have on the docket. And now, fuck Daniel.
I like to make money, get turned. I like to